The results of UT's 2023 Texas Politics Project are out. We've got Dr. James Hinson, Executive Director of the project, and UT government professor with us this morning to talk about what Texans are thinking. Doctor, how are you doing?
Great. Good to be back.
Yeah, thanks for coming. So what is this study, first of all, and who participates?
Yeah, we have 1,200 registered voters in this pool, and we collected data using the internet, using probably the best data collection company really in the world, YouGov. And we were in the field collecting data from in about the third week of February, essentially. This is all pretty fresh.
Yeah. Well, I guess the surprising thing is while many people are paying close attention to state politics, a lot of people are paying attention to the national stuff. What's going on nationally? Inflation, Donald Trump's handling of classified documents. Talk about some of that.
Yeah, I mean, the point of asking this question, we gave Texans a list of national and local stories or state level stories to just compare how much they were paying attention to what. And the things that are really grabbing people's attention are these big national stories.
Yeah.
So people like you and I kind of watch the legislature for our jobs.
Right.
Texans a little bit less focused on national issues.
That's a good point. For those who are paying attention to the state, which is much less top of mind for a lot of people, what are the issues they're concerned about in Texas?
Well, we just, in terms of getting people in the frame of mind to think about the legislature, we ask them what we call an open-ended question, asking them what should be the top priority facing the legislature. We don't give them any clues or leading. We just give them a little box and they write it in. Number one, we went to all that way, not that surprising, was border security. But then when we asked people how concerned are they, what concerns them in the state, so there you go, there's your graphic. So the priorities for the 88th legislature, the top one, immigration and border security, followed by inflation, gun control. But you notice the distance between the 24% and the 8 and the 7%, that's because there's huge partisan differences. About half of Republicans consistently say immigration and border security is their top response. Top response among Democrats is gun control, gun safety, and then the economy, but only at about 14, 16% in that range. Republicans are much more focused on one thing than our Democrats.
Yeah, and that's from people who may or may not be closely following Texas politics.
Right.
Interesting.
No, they're not forced to give an answer in that question because it's open-ended, but most people did.
Okay. And there are 4 areas where more than half of Texas say the state is spending too little on.
Yeah, and this is interesting. I mean, obviously, one of the things that going into this session, I think we talked about it last time I was here, there's a big budget overage hanging over the legislature. They're trying to figure out how to spend it. So we asked people, gave them a list of potential issues that were out there. Number one, in terms of spending priorities, was the reliability of the grid, I think is what we came up with first.
Yeah.
I think we have it. Well, this is sort of a little bit on the lower end. The grid, healthcare, property taxes, abortion, closer to the bottom. Closer to the top, interesting things like infrastructure for both social infrastructure and economic infrastructure, especially water, the grid, mental health services.
Yeah, there you go. Real quick. Abortion and gun legislation. Just kind of touch on those.
Yeah, I mean, hot button issues. In short, what we found is, by and large, after all the action in the legislature on both of these issues, pushing boundaries on those issues, there are much fewer people that want those laws made any more strict, and particularly on guns and abortion, large shares of Texans that would like to see those laws less strict after the extent that they worked on those issues last time.
Yeah. Dr. James Hinson, thanks so much. If you want to see this full study, there's a website, right?
Yep, texaspolitics.utexas.edu.
There you go. Doc, thank you so much.